felony. You can go to prison now for stealing some clothes. That's stupid.
Guess what? Slap on the wrist.
Welcome back to Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. This case starts at a Dick's Sporting Goods parking lot in Findlay, Ohio. But it ends on a highway with flashing lights, a high-speed chase, and a pit maneuver. And also some felony charges. What started as a theft of anywhere between $100 to $1,000 in merchandise turned into a statewide pursuit and a masterclass in how one bad decision stacks up fast in the eyes of the law. So with that, let's jump in.
Hi. We just had a lady walk out with 2 of our bog bags with products stuck into them.
Okay.
Here's my video of her.
Did you guys walk out?
Did I walk out?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is her. And I was trying to, sorry, let me,
Yeah, this is it. I don't think she's gonna stop. Headquarters, we're westbound.
Nate's trying to catch up though.
Driver, stop your car. You in the Honda, stop your car. No, pull over and stop. Right now.
Where you at?
Now we're stuck in traffic. She's responding to the PA. She's gonna stop here at Reineke.
He said Nate's gonna be one with him in just a moment.
Driver, pull over now.
Where's some people? Okay.
Yeah, she's not pulling over. We're coming up to 75 now.
At 25 at quarter. Okay. Contact OSP, let them know the direction. If I be going north on 75, ask for assistance. Hey, right. Quarters, I'll be with him. I'll be calling the pursuit. If you can get us on pursuit channel. When it's safe to do so, one of the agencies needs to take the 1 position and you go to the 2 position.
Okay, the troopers look like they fell out of this. I might have Perrysburg Township jumping in here with me. We're through the roundabouts. 199 here. Hold on, she's back to the west on Roqueton Road. They tried to ram her, but they missed. I don't know who that was. It was an unmarked with some flashy lights on it. We're westbound. We're crossing over 75 here on the overpass. She went left to center here at the double yellow on the overpass. Just past Wood Sorrel, headed westbound. are eastbound on North Dixie Highway. If someone can communicate to this Perrysburg Township unit behind me to come take the one position, I'll give it up. We're going to be continuing northbound under the overpass here. I'll give you a direction here. Now we're going to be westbound on 25. Pit. They just took a pit on it.
Anybody in the back?
Headquarters 1 in custody.
What I do?
Yeah, what'd you do?
What I do? Tell me what I do.
Stealing from Dick's.
Oh, a fucking ball game.
You weren't running, were you?
No, I walked back. Ball bag. $100 ball bag.
Come down here and play.
Thanks, guys.
Get caught up to do it too.
Thank you, guys.
I didn't
868 quarters.
Big one from Findlay
know
all the way
I
up
didn't
here.
I talked to the lady and everything.
Females in custody. We're at 75 and the 25 engineering trail exit.
Woo! Y'all get a big reward, huh? Y'all get a big reward for this?
You did a felony.
Big reward.
You can go to prison now for stealing some clothes. Not stupid.
Guess what? Slap on the wrist. First time. I think. Never do.
Nope.
Not in Hancock County.
Wrong county, honey. You're not in Lucas
Not
County
Lucas
anymore.
anymore. Over here.
The best lawyer. And Hancock and Lucas everywhere, baby.
Yeah, I'm on one.
Everywhere. See y'all soon. Great job.
Thank you.
Hackworth.
You got it.
So much. You ain't shit but a bitch with a badge, bitch. All of y'all. Good work. Good work, officer. Good work. Dumbasses for a fucking purse. Y'all slow as did all that shit for a purse and they just my car up. Nah, I really ain't gotta pay for my car. Hey! Hey! I'm trying to get open the door. Why the fuck is y'all counting my money, bitch? Bitch. And he keep touching my fucking wallet like you about to touch my money. Why is y'all in my money? What's wrong with y'all? Fucking pigs. Thief ass pigs. Can I get my phone? Could you take my phone off the hood, please?
Oh, yeah, we'll get there. You're not getting it, though. So.
I mean, I just want to call and make sure my baby daddy get my daughter. That's it.
If you would have stopped in Findlay, and we would have wrote you a court date, and you would have left. And then you could have called your dad, or your baby dad, and your
I didn't
daughter.
know how Findlay works, so I wanted to get to Toledo.
Toledo, and now what's
and
happening?
then I
You
went
got
to
a felony.
Perrysburg, and then I'm like, Perrysburg, so I was like, let me get to Toledo.
It's terrible excuses. All right? No, you're not going to use your phone anytime soon. So sit tight. Enjoy the
Well, I
calmness.
got a newborn baby. I just need. Can you call him?
Let me tell you something right now. I am being a dick. I don't give a shit. Okay, you know how many lives you're just putting danger out there? Myself, all these officers, all the citizens out there,
danger.
and then you're worried about your little baby. You could have stayed home and taken care of him like a good mom.
I am.
Piece of shit.
I do. Your mama, bitch, and your ugly ass kids, bitch.
Now let's take a look at the laws at play here from Ohio, and let's break them down. First, we have theft. This is found at the Ohio Revised Code, section 2913.02. Theft occurs when someone knowingly takes or exerts control over property without consent and with the intent to deprive the owner of it. Here, the suspect allegedly walked out with unpaid merchandise concealed in large bags. If the value is between $1,000 and $7,500, it qualifies as a fifth-degree felony, and that's punishable between 6 and 12 months in prison, a fine of up to $2,500. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to flash up an article that says that she was caught stealing over $1,000. She's already been indicted by a grand jury. So that just means that they do find probable cause, and that starts the case up. Number 2, failure to comply with a police signal. This is found at section 2921.331. It says failing to stop when signaled by police. It becomes criminal when done willfully. Here, the suspect ignored clear commands to stop and engaged in a dangerous high-speed chase. Now, if the flight creates a substantial risk of serious harm, as it did here, it becomes a third-degree felony. And that punishment is between 9 and 36 months in prison, and there's also a mandatory license suspension that's also added on. Third, we have organized retail theft, or as it's known in Ohio, the Force Act of 2025. Now, this was enacted to address group-based or repeat theft from retail stores. Here, although she's acting alone, the concealed bags, the volume of goods, and the flight could suggest a patterned theft behavior. Now, the penalty is a fourth-degree felony. It carries between 6 months and 18 months in prison, a fine of up to $5,000. All right, next we have obstructing official business. This is found in section 2921.31, and it says knowingly hampering or delaying a public official from performing their lawful duties is obstructing official business. Now, this happened here when she refused to stop and arguing with the officers post-arrest. All that falls into obstructing official business. Now, this is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 90 days in jail, a fine of up to $750. Finally, we have felonious assault. This is found at section 2903.11, and that's to knowingly cause or attempting to cause serious physical harm to another person. Here, she attempted to hit or ram an officer or a vehicle. This could be one of the serious felonies that she faces. This is a second-degree felony. It's punishable between 2 and 8 years in prison, a fine of up to $15,000. All right, next let's move into our evidentiary standards, because remember, they're at play regardless of what type of case we're dealing with. Let's break down the 6 levels of evidence and apply each to what we've just witnessed. So first we have mere suspicion. This is the lowest level on this evidentiary ladder. Now, it's a gut feeling that something just isn't right. In this case, it begins with the store employee noticing a customer walking out with bags that seem overly full. It's not enough to arrest, but it plants the seed for further inquiry. Next, we have reasonable suspicion. Now, this is the legal threshold to stop a person and briefly detain them while you conduct a small investigation. Here, the store provides surveillance footage, it confirms a loss, and gives a vehicle description. That's more than a hunch. That's enough for officers to make a legal stop and investigate further. Moving up one more level, we have probable cause. That means there's enough concrete evidence to believe a crime has been committed and the suspect is involved. Here, the officer sees the suspect's vehicle. It matches the description and observes her fleeing. That gives law enforcement the legal authority to arrest her for theft and failure to comply. Moving up one more level, we get to preponderance of the evidence. Now, this is the standard that's used in civil court. when people file civil lawsuits suing each other for money. It means more likely than not that something occurred. This takes 51% of the evidence in your favor to win this type of case. Now here, if the store were to sue for damages or losses, they would only need to show that their version was more believable than not. Just tip the scale in their favor. Moving up one more level, we have clear and convincing evidence. Now this requires a high degree of certainty. This means highly probable or substantially likely to be true. This takes about 75% of the evidence in your favor to win this type of case. Now this happens and is used in certain civil cases, also in certain administrative hearings. You also see this in child custody cases. Now this could apply if the state sought forfeiture of the vehicle involved in this crime. They would need to show that the car was used in furtherance of a felony and not just incidentally present. Finally, we have beyond a reasonable doubt. This is the highest standard in the American justice system and the one that applies at each criminal trial. Here, prosecutors would need to prove with no serious doubt that the suspect committed each element of the charged offenses. Now remember, beyond a reasonable doubt simply means that there is no other reasonable alternative besides the guilt of the defendant. Now here, we will have clear body cam footage, we have audio of the refusal to stop, we have eyewitness accounts, and I believe the state might have a strong enough grounds to meet this standard, especially on theft and the fleeing charge. Next, let's move into the jury perspective. Now, let's imagine that we're sitting on this jury. I'm going to ask you a few questions. First of all, do you believe the suspect's flight was just the result of her panicking? Or do you see intent to avoid accountability? Would you view the theft as minor, or does the risk that she created during the chase amplify the seriousness? Did her attitude after arrest, yelling obscenities, mocking officers, claiming she no longer has to pay for her car, does any of that help her case, or does it hurt? Now, let's never forget intuition and how it plays into these incidents. What does your gut tell you about someone who leads officers on a multi-agency chase just over some small stolen merchandise? Is this the kind of person who deserves leniency or the kind who needs the system to intervene? Now, these are the kinds of decisions that jurors wrestle with every day during jury trials. So you tell me below, guilty or not guilty? This case reminds us how quickly petty theft can become a permanent problem. For what might have been $100 in merchandise, maybe, this suspect now faces felony charges, potential license suspension, and even prison time, all because she refused to stop. One bad choice became 5 criminal counts in less than 10 minutes. Let this be your reminder. Compliance might feel inconvenient in the moment, but it often saves you from long-term consequences. And when your intuition tells you something's off, whether you're an officer, juror, or a person watching from the sidelines, listen to it. That inner voice is often your first and best defense. If you found this lecture insightful, drop a comment below. And, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to stay updated. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone be safe out there, and have a good day.
Please subscribe to Advocacy Alchemy for more lectures from Professor Ross.